It's all tomorrow at 3. We hope you will join us then.
Why not? Moms get everything in my Amazon.
Exactly.
Right. So you've worked your whole life and you hope to put enough money away so that you don't have any financial burdens as you move into your retirement.
But health issues can show up out of nowhere and can deplete your savings and your spouse's too very quickly.
That's why it's important to know what's allowed and isn't allowed when it comes to Medicaid coverage.
Attorney Brendan Daly is here with some insight. He is the Daly and the firm Topeka Daly Pope and Perry now. Thank you so much.
Oh.
We're glad you added a Perry.
Yeah.
Ruined all the
glad to have him.
He ruined all the stationery, but it's nice to have him.
So sometimes as people experience, they need to go into a nursing home care or something, and the Medicaid is going to kick in. Now we think of Medicaid as like welfare, but older people might go on this when they're out of resources.
When they're out of resources, so for a single person, all they can have is $1,600.
Okay.
But for a married couple, the home is exempt for the healthy spouse and up to $124,000.
Okay.
And in Connecticut, the cost of care is the highest in the country. It's $15,000 a month. And so that's why 74% of people in nursing homes in Connecticut are on Medicaid. Oh. So it's the highest Medicaid census in the country. It's the primary payer source.
Go ahead.
Well, I just meant like then you often would have to just fill out those forms and you think, oh, I'm just going to do this. But you're saying it's really not a good idea. We should seek professional help from a firm like yours because the outcomes can be quite different. Absolutely.
It's an issue of figuring out what assets can be protected. So especially with a married couple, a client can come in and see me and they have a house and they have $500,000. I can protect the $500,000. There are things that we can do.
Right.
And this is where you need to see an elder law attorney because there are companies that are assisting with processing these applications. They're just telling people spend everything at the nursing home.
Right, and that's not the case. That you shouldn't be doing that.
No, this is their nest egg. This is an 85-year-old client who is now trying to protect her $500,000, and I'm trying to protect it for her so she can live comfortably in the community. And there are ways that we can do that by putting plans in place to protect the assets.
And it's not, people will think, oh, I want to do something that's legitimate. I don't want to cheat the system. I want to be honest. These are all okay to do.
Absolutely, 100%. There's always something that I can do. There's always a way that we can protect some of the assets.
What's one of the biggest problems, what's one of the biggest problems that your couples are facing that that you could fix?
Well, the biggest problem is in this case, dealing with nursing home care, is the assets for the healthy spouse. Because the ill spouse, he's in the normally it's a he, he's in a nursing home and he has no more than $1,600, but we've got to do some planning and get all the assets into her name, change her estate plan so she's not leaving everything to him, because if she died before him, that's not a good outcome. And then put in place a plan, normally doing something like home improvements, buying that new car, prepaying for funerals.
I was going to say prepay for a funeral. You're allowed to up to $8,000.
Up to $8,000. It's not a fun thing to do on the weekend.
No,
I know,
but still, you want to take that money. You might as well use it, and you let you pass away. Unfortunately, you leave your family with unpaid bills. But you take your own money and pay for it. Why not use your own money?
You're in crisis mode. It's the rainy day. You've got to do it. And the issue with some of these companies that are assisting people, in one case, they didn't do that. They didn't assist a client and tell them to prepay for the funeral. The family was stuck with paying for the funeral because that person was then on Medicaid.
So if we're part of the sandwich generation, then you should be helping maybe have these conversations with your parents, or how do you make sure that if you can help get this done for them so that you're not penalized also if you're the surviving family?
It's actually a very good term, the sandwich generation. I'm in it too, with young kids and an older father. And so having that conversation sooner, when the parents are, depending on their health, in maybe their early 70s, is a good time to go and to talk about asset protection planning. What can I do? Can you transfer assets to your children? There are lots of things that you can do ahead of time, before the crisis unfolds, to be able to protect the assets for the kids.
And people will say, oh my gosh, I can't afford an attorney. They almost cannot not afford to get an attorney, because the money that they're going to save is going to completely offset the cost of an attorney's.
Oh, I completely agree, of course.
Yeah.
But I mean, when you're looking at $15,000 a month, this is the single greatest financial catastrophe that'll hit somebody in their lifetime.
Now, on the offset, that let's say your parents were one of those people that they don't have any retirement savings, they didn't save enough, the Medicaid is actually going to help pay for wherever they need to be?
To the extent that they need long-term care, it'll pay for nursing home care, and it'll pay for home care. So for somebody who wants to stay in the home and get care at home, then Medicaid will pay for that as well.
All right, to learn more about Sapika Daily Pope and Perry, head to the firm's website. It's sapika-law.com. sapikalaw.com. There it is, right up there on the top of your screen.
We learned a lot today.
I learned a lot.
All right, thank you so much for being here for an all-new Better Connecticut. We hope tomorrow's weather will be better.
And I like your commercials.